going to be showing you how to make this gorgeous, beautiful, super easy crochet shawl. This is so nice and airy, lightweight. It has this beautiful fringe too that is optional. Let's make this gorgeous shawl. In this tutorial, we are going to be making this super easy crochet shawl. Here is my pattern that is available on my Etsy shop. The supplies we're going to need for yarn would be a soft 3 or 4 weight yarn. I prefer to use this Red Heart roll with it. This yarn is a number 4 weight yarn. And the color that I'm using today is called Theater. It is this beautiful neutrals with browns, golds, tans, grays, creams. Really gorgeous yarn, but you can use any lightweight 4 or 3 weight yarn, and you can also use acrylic or cotton. And this is acrylic yarn, but this could be made with cotton yarn also. I usually use almost 2 of these cakes, and these cakes run 389 yards per cake. And I used almost 2 of these, so I'll use like 1.5 for these shawls. We are going to be using a 6.5 millimeter hook. Now, if you find that this shawl is too loose for you, you can size down to a 6 hook. We're going to need a pair of scissors, a darning needle, a stitch marker, also a ruler or something to cut your fringe into 12-inch pieces. I wrap it around this fringe maker. All you would need is a ruler or something to measure out 12-inch pieces of yarn, or you could wrap your yarn around a book or a cardboard. So we're going to take our yarn and we're going to make a slip knot, make a circle and pull through. You're going to put your hook into the slip knot, and we're going to be working in rows, and we're going to leave this tail, a long enough tail so you can really secure this at the end and weave in your ends. So the first thing we're going to do for round 1, we're going to chain 4. And we're going to be connecting to the very first chain that we made with a slip stitch. So just pull your yarn through that very first chain, and you're going to make this circle, and our next row is going to be going inside that circle. And then we're going to chain 4. And this chain 4 is going to count as 1 double crochet, chain 1 throughout the pattern. We're going to bend our tail here and put it underneath our work here so that we crochet over our tail. And we're going to place 2 double crochets right into the center of the circle of the ring. So place 2 double crochets right inside that ring. We're going to chain 4. This first chain 4 is going to count as our point of our shawl, so we're going to mark that with a stitch marker. And then we're going to place 2 more double crochets into that same ring. We're going to chain 1, and then we're going to place 1 more double crochet into that same ring. So all of the stitches for round 2 were placed right inside that ring. And we have our chain 4 point marked with a stitch marker. So we're going to chain 4, and that's going to end round 2. We're going to turn our work. Now for row 3, in this first chain 1 space that we made here, we're going to place 2 double crochets into that first chain 1 space. And then we're going to chain 3, and then the next space is here at our point, our chain 4 point. We're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 4, and 2 more double crochets right into that same point space. We're going to chain 3. We're going to go up into this last chain 1 space, and we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet. We're going to chain 4 and turn our work, and we're going to move our stitch marker down to our point space. So this is what it will look like after row 3. So to start row 4, we're going to place 2 double crochets right into this first chain 1 space. We're going to chain 3. In the next chain 3 space, we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 3. The next space we have here is our point chain 4 space, so we're going to put 2 double crochets, chain 4, and 2 more double crochets right into that same chain 4 point space. Chain 3. We have a side space here. We're going to put 2 double crochets into that chain 3 space. We're going to chain 3, and in our last chain 1 space, we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet. We're going to chain 4 and turn our work. That is what it looks like. And we're going to move our stitch marker down to our point. So from here on in, we're going to be repeating this last row. So let's do another one. For round 5 and then for as long as you want this shawl, you're going to repeat the same row. So in that very first chain 1 space, we're going to place 2 double crochets. We're going to chain 3. And every row, our side spaces are going to increase by 1 on every side. So we have 2 side spaces here. So in every side space, we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 3. We have another side space here, so 2 double crochets, chain 3. And our next space is our point, our chain 4 point space right here that's marked. We're going to place 2 double crochets in that point space, chain 4, and then 2 more double crochets right into that same chain 4 space, chain 3. And now we're going up the other side of our shawl. So in our first side space, we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets in the next chain 3 space, chain 3, and here's our last chain 1 space. We're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, and 1 more double crochet, and then chain 4, turn our work, and we can move our stitch marker down. And this is what your shawl should be looking like so far. So we have our 2 points here on each side. And we have our center going down the center, and we have it marked with a stitch marker. So you're just going to continue doing that same row. You're just going to be increasing every single row. So we place 2 double crochets in that first chain 1 space, chain 3, and then each side space here is going to get 2 double crochets, chain 3. We have another side space, so 2 double crochets, chain 3. In the next side space, 2 double crochets, chain 3. Here's our point that we have marked, so we're going to place 2 double crochets, we're going to chain 4 in our point, place 2 more double crochets in that same chain 4 space, chain 3, and then each side space going back up the other side is going to get 2 double crochets, chain 3, 2 double crochets in the next one, chain 3, next side space here, 2 double crochets, chain 3, next side space here, 2 double crochets, chain 3, and then always in the last chain 1 space we're going to place 2 double crochets, chain 1, and then 1 more double crochet, and then we're always going to make a chain 4 and turn our work. And then it's really handy to move this stitch marker down for your center chain 4 space. So this is what your shawl should look like. So just continue that 1 repeating row and just continue going for as long as you want your shawl, and I will meet you at the end. Okay, so your shawl should be as long as you want it with as many rows as you added. I'm going to just show you how I do my fringe. So I like to add fringe all along the sides of my shawl, all along the bottom edge. I like to cut 12-inch pieces. You can make your fringe as long or as short as you want to. So you can use a ruler and measure out 12-inch pieces of fringe. I have this fringe maker that I wrap my yarn around. So just to show you how I use this, and you can buy one right on Amazon, you just wrap your fringe around like this to your desired length. This is usually half of the measurement of your fringe, and then you're just going to cut it, and then you have pieces like this. But you don't have to use that if you don't want to. You can find some of those on Amazon, fringe makers. If you use a book or a piece of plastic or cardboard or just a ruler, measure out pieces of 12-inch fringe, and your fringe, that length that you make when you cut, that's going to give you roughly half of that when you add this to your project. So if you want 5-inch fringe, you want to cut 10-inch pieces, and if you want 6-inch fringe, you want to cut 12-inch pieces. I am going to take my fringe, and I like to gather up 4 or 5 pieces. You can make it as thick or thin as you want. You can gather up more pieces or less pieces. So you're going to take your long pieces of yarn and fold them in half. You're going to find where you want to insert your fringe. Put your crochet needle in. You have it folded in half. You're going to grab the end that's looped and pull it through the space that you want to add your fringe with your crochet hook. And then just stick your finger in that hole. And I like to line up my pieces of fringe now. It just saves me time later. You're going to pinch them and just pull them through that loop like this. And that makes a nice loop on your project. And then if you need to trim your edges, then I do it each time I pull them through. Just trim your edges. And I've already added fringe to all of my ends here in these spaces here, the chain 3 spaces. So fringe is optional. I hope you love your shawl. This is a super easy crochet shawl. That's why I named it that. And we have our center going right down the center of our shawl. This is our chain 4 space, and make sure that you really secure your beginning slip knot that you did. So place a knot there and then really weave in that center really well so you don't have your yarn unravel, and just weave in all of your ends, and then your shawl is finished. I hope you love this really quick and easy tutorial. I will see you on the next video.